How in the world does gratitude relate to money, man? Like, how does that even tie in?
I was in high school when I wanted to end everything. I had wished that I had died in that car accident. It was God's voice on my heart. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That voice was my hope. I knew that He had a plan for me. I'm sharing this with you because there's a plan for you out there,
Sure.
but until you decide you choose to keep stepping up to the plate and figuring it out, learning to fail forward, you're not ever going to gain clarity on what that plan is. You're not ever going to find your purpose, your calling.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Financial Mastery Simplified. I am your host, Jacqueline or Jax Crider, and today we have a repeat guest, Miss Elizabeth or Beth Meggs. She is a dear friend of mine. If you guys remember, we talked a little bit about her amazing story earlier on in the show. And so we're excited to have her back. We're going to talk a little bit about gratitude and things like that. So, Beth, for those of listeners who may not remember exactly who you are, give us kind of a little bit of snippet of who you are and what you're excited to talk about today on the podcast.
Yes, I am happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me on again. And I'm excited about speaking about gratitude. My name is Elizabeth Meigs. I'm a transformational coach and founder of Elizabeth Inspires, where I help women who are dealing with overwhelm, burnout, stress. They feel stuck, depleted, and they're desperate for a breakthrough. I help them to learn how to tap into their miracle power. This miracle power is within each and every one of us, and when you can learn to tap into that, that's what makes you unstoppable. I have gone from a complete nobody, insecure, not confident, lacking courage, wanting a better life, wishing that I was no longer on this earth, to where I am now. I feel beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I'm confident and I'm courageous, and I am ready to do what I can to make this world a better place and just help women out there who are struggling, because you deserve so much more, and I'm ready to help you step into your own miracle power.
Absolutely. Well, and I love that. I mean, and it so kind of aligns with the, attitude of gratitude or gratitude kind of, if you will. And I know what some of you are thinking, how in the world does gratitude relate to money, man? Like, how does that even tie in? And for those of you who listen to the show regularly, you know that one of my big things is that I don't believe that financials is just a straight line. A lot of experts teach you and train you that there's just one right way. And I'm not saying that there's not some basic financial principles that are true for everybody, because the math is the math. However, a lot of people don't realize that so many other aspects touch the financial space. So many other things are affecting the financial space, and gratitude is a really, really big part of that. And so, I used to roll my eyes as my mother as a child used to say, have a good attitude, right? Have a good attitude. And I just rolled my eyes at her like, whatever, mother, you don't know, my life is so horrible, right? That's how every pretty much teenager, and even like my daughter, three-nager, feels, is that, the parents are just out to get them. But the truth of the matter is like, if you're not holding an attitude of gratitude, if you're not really being grateful, it really can affect every avenue of your life, including money.
Yes. So an attitude of gratitude, I want you to think of it this way. I had no idea what I was doing 24 years ago when I began going, praying to God every night, thanking Him for my life and my blessings. But that was actually setting the foundation for what I am doing today. It was by tapping into that gratitude and holding that attitude of gratitude, I was able to learn how to shift from negative to positive, and it helped me to get to where I am now, and that is living open to all the possibilities, being able to see opportunities everywhere. That miracle power that I talk about, attitude of gratitude is where it starts.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, and I mean, again, I think it's super easy when we live in such a world where so many things are instant gratification, so many things on social media look perfect, right? We live in a society where even though America is not perfect, it has its issues, it has its problems. We live in a place where people are literally dying to get here, right? Like they are actively seeking to try to make it within our borders because of how great we have it. And you still have people constantly just dwelling in the negative. And I get it. I mean, we're getting hit with a lot. There's a lot of overwhelm. There's a lot of negativity that is pushed out, right? From media sources, from the doom and gloom kind of attitudes and things like that that a lot of times you're seeing. It's just the problem with that is if you stay in that space, it's going to drag down everything.
Yes.
Right? It's going to drag
Yep.
down your opportunities. It's going to drag down what you're seeing. To your point, right? Like it is literally the glass half full versus the glass half empty situation. Because the truth
Exactly.
of the matter is, it could be either or. It just literally depends on what your perspective and your attitude is, right? Whether you're being grateful that you still have some drink, whatever it is, in that cup, or, oh my gosh, I've already finished half of it. This is ridiculous, right? Like, what is it?
Yeah, so many people are struggling because of the negative. And I'm going to throw this in your surroundings, all those external forces, the external voices. A lot of times we are our own worst critics. But I want to ask you, when you are feeling down, did that actually come from you, or did that come from someone that you're surrounding yourself with who doesn't have that open to the possibilities kind of attitude, the attitude of gratitude? They don't see the glass half full. A lot of times, being in those relationships and those situations when you're not being lifted up, that's what brings you down and makes it hard to be able to rise up and overcome.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, think about it this way. So, for people who are in business, do people really want to do business with you if it's negative Nelly all the time? It's just the energy suck. Like if it's just all of that, like is that the person that they really want to do business with? Maybe you're the best. Maybe you know your skill set more than anybody else. Lights out. You are the go-to expert. But if that's how you're going to come across, I promise that's not going to be the person that they're going to want to do business with. And
Right.
then flip it on its head and say, okay, you work a regular job, right? No matter what it is, all the way from working, a lower end job like, maybe retail or something like that, all the way up to super high end CEO level type things. Who do people want to interact with? Who do they want to promote, right? Who do they want to be more in the corner with? The person who always has something
Yes.
Debbie Downer to say, like, oh, my life is just horrible and everything is against me, or the person who is actively with a smile on their face, they're trying to, come about things or whatever. And it took me a really long time to get to that place in my life, right? Like
Yeah.
to get there, because I'll be real. I mean, I never had anything as crazy happen to me as happened to you, Beth, for sure. However, it's very cyclical in my family for depression to run.
Mhm.
And so I have struggled most of my life with depression, with, kind of thoughts of sadness and whatever. And if you feed that beast, it's super easy to kind of get stuck in that. And I'll never forget, there was a girl back in high school. Her name was Rachel. She was a friend of mine. And it almost would annoy me how positive she was. Everything was great, and she always saw the silver lining in everything. And I mean, I'm such a realist in personality. I was like, I don't get it. How can this be a good thing? Like, have you not looked at the facts of whatever the thing is? But the truth is, she was right on point, right?
Mhm.
Like, she was
Yeah.
seeing things and gonna get places that I wasn't, because she wasn't gonna dwell. Like, maybe the facts that I was telling her were right, right? The facts were the facts. They were what they were. However, it didn't change that there was opportunity she was seeing that I just simply wasn't.
It's because she had learned to shift. So I always say, and it took me a long time to learn this, but it's the challenges that make the victory so much sweeter once you finally break through. It took
For
me
sure.
years. It took me over a decade to get to where I believed this, to where I fully stepped into it and started sharing it with people. But I was able to get there because I didn't let the outside world, the enemy, whoever was attacking me, bring me down. I chose to get back up and keep going. Try again. It's when you keep trying, despite your mistakes, despite your failures, but you learn how to fail forward. That's what brings courage. That's what builds your confidence. Gratitude helps with that because it boosts emotional resilience.
For
It
sure.
helps to manage stress. It helps it to where you begin to bounce back from setbacks more effectively. I like to say that each and every one of us have an inner spirit of resilience deep within us. You may not see it now, it's because you're in that negative place. You haven't learned yet to shift that mindset. That's what I help with. Because once you learn to tap into that inner spirit of resilience, that's the first step to starting to tap into that miracle power that's deep within you.
Right. Oh no, and I mean, I think from the financial piece, part of the reason that my passion and like what I'm really trying to do with Financial Mastery Simplified, both podcast, course platform, all of the things, even on my mortgage side, is I want you to live life on your terms, right? And you're only going to be able to do that if you are starting to tap into not only gratitude for where you're at, but gratitude for where you're headed. And
Mm-hmm.
you're never going to get there if you, number one, stay in the negative. Number two, just simply purely listen to conventional wisdom and don't have an idea of like what it is you're looking for. Because here's the
Yes.
deal. I can want to accumulate $100 million. Maybe that's what my idea of success looks like, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that I would be happy there. You know what I mean? If I haven't thought about it and thought about, the gratitude piece, whatever. Or it may not be what your version of success is. Your version
Mm-hmm.
of success may look incredibly differently. So, when the talking heads of the financial space talk about, oh, well, you need to be debt free, you need to basically make all of these investments or whatever. I would say that I don't necessarily agree with that, right?
Right.
You have to figure out
Yes.
where are you going to find your peace, your purpose, your gratitude or whatever, because it looks so different for every
Yes.
single person on this planet.
Yes. Every single one of us has a different calling, has a different purpose. And those dreams, those things that you're so passionate about, those things that fuel you, that set you on fire, that is all aligned with your purpose, with that plan for your life. But until you can make the shift to from negative to positive and gain clarity, you're not gonna figure out what that purpose is. Back when I was in high school, when I wanted to end everything, I had wished that I had died in that car accident. It was God's voice on my heart. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. That voice was my hope. I knew that he had a plan for me. I'm sharing this with you because there's a plan for you out there,
Sure.
but until you decide you choose to keep stepping up to the plate and figuring it out, learning to fail forward, you're not ever going to gain clarity on what that plan is. You're not ever going to find your purpose, your calling. I'm very blessed that even though I didn't know what was happening, through God's grace and mercy, I was developing strategies, and it all started with gratitude. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my blessings every night before I went to bed, because I knew that one day I was going to need to be for someone else exactly what I needed in that moment.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, that's the other thing is that with that attitude of gratitude, it also allows you when you are gracious, when you feel gratitude, it allows you to reach a hand out to help somebody who's maybe a little bit before you on that same kind of
Mm-hmm.
general journey, right?
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, none of us start out where it's like, okay,
Mm-mm.
we've reached the pinnacle of success. And the pinnacle, I mean, I literally made a post, here this last week about success doesn't necessarily isn't always pretty. What you see when you look out there into the world is like, oh, right, well, look at them, they did all these things or whatever. But like, think about like your sports people, like Kobe Bryant. I mean, part of the reason he was so successful is not just his talent, right? He probably did have a natural God-given talent to play basketball. But when you think about the fact that he outworked everybody, he was grateful for the opportunities given, he took the challenge or whatever, right? He kept the mindset, the story he told himself over and over again was that he was successful and he was a champion and he was going to do everything in his power, right? Like those are stories of gratitude, of thankfulness, right? Of, just resilience. And it all sort of ties together and it helps you in every avenue of your life. So for those of you again saying, oh, well, money, I just really want to learn how to make money. You want to know how you make money? Gratitude. You look and you're gracious and you're thankful for not only what you currently have, but where you can get to if you literally will just put your mind down and go ahead and start, doing that, right? Like that is what is going to transform and change your life. I'm living in the period of my life where I probably should have the least amount of gratitude, in the sense that my own personal financial house is a wreck. I'm living temporarily with my parents. I have all kinds of crazy town literally happening. And yet I am the most grateful for this period for the fact that I've learned more than I've learned in any other period of my life. I have leveled myself up more. I have forced myself to do more hard things to really find my voice and be able to help others, which is all I've ever wanted to do. Is just help other people succeed and succeed in a way that resonates with them. Because I feel so passionately about the fact that so many people just go and are told, well, yeah, Beth, this is exactly the way you should do it. And even though I firmly believe that there is a way that works for me, and I definitely will share that with anybody who wants to hear about the way that has worked for me, myself, and I don't necessarily think that works for everybody.
No, it doesn't. And see, that's why I'm so passionate. And I know you're going to be able to relate to this. I'm going to come back to this, but I want to rewind a little bit. You had said something about you never know who your story is going to help. I, too, am right now in a time of my life where paycheck to paycheck, borrowing money from my mom, not knowing when I'm going to get back on my feet where I need to be after getting out of my marriage last year. I didn't know what was going to come about. But I will tell you this, I feel like the richest woman in the world because of what I am doing. I am fulfilling my calling. The people that I help, the people that my story provides hope for, those people have been such a bigger blessing to me, such a greater reward to me than any of the blessings that I've received in my life the last 24 years. From learning to walk again to being able to get out on my own and actually live on my own, when after that traumatic brain injury, after the car accident, people wondered if I would ever be independent.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what I'm doing now. And the people that you help along the way, that helps you to grow. That helps to boost your confidence. That helps those people that I help, those people that have come up to me over the last 12 years saying how much hope I gave them. Those are blessings, and those blessings are confirmation that I've been on the right track. So I want you to start thinking about that when you are in a low point.
Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this message from our sponsors.
Imagine having the power to control your financial destiny, no matter where you start. Welcome to the Financial Mastery Simplified course and resource platform, where financial education is tailored to your unique journey. We cover everything you need, from basic budgeting and saving strategies to advanced investing and retirement planning. Learn at your own pace with lessons that match your level of experience. Whether you're a beginner or looking to enhance your financial knowledge, join our community of learners and benefit from shared insights and expert guidance. The Financial Mastery Simplified Course and Resource Platform equips you with the skills and confidence to take charge of your financial future. Ready to master your finances? Enroll in our courses today at the Financial Mastery Simplified Course and Resource Platform. Start your path to financial independence now.
Hello and welcome to PBJ Mortgage, where your home ownership dreams become reality. Today, we want to share why choosing PBJ Mortgage is the right choice for your home financing needs. At PBJ Mortgage, we're built on a foundation of values that drive us every day. Our commitment to educate, empathize, and empower our clients sets us apart in the mortgage industry. Our clients are at the heart of everything we do, and their success stories speak volumes. With years of experience, our team possesses in-depth knowledge of the mortgage programs, ensuring you receive expert guidance and the best possible rates. We offer a diverse range of loan options to suit your unique needs, including conventional, FHA, VA, and more. No matter your situation, we've got a solution. At PBJ Mortgage, we pride ourselves on providing personalized service. Our dedicated loan officers are here to guide you every step of the way, making the process as smooth as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We understand that time is of the essence, which is why we've streamlined our processes for efficiency and convenience. Transparency and clear communication are paramount. You'll always know where you stand throughout your mortgage journey. Reach out to us today to set up a call to discover your options. If you're ready to make your home ownership dreams a reality, contact PBJ Mortgage today. Let us empower you during this exciting journey. Phone number 4-693-733-107 www.pbjteam.com. Visit our website or give us a call to get started. We look forward to helping you secure your future home. PBJ Mortgage, where home begins.
Thanks for your patience. Now back to our conversation.
I want you to think back to one of those blessings. Be grateful that just came out of nowhere. In fact, sometimes I tell my clients that get a little memento, a little souvenir, something like that, that ties back to one of those moments when you just felt extremely blessed. Carry it with you. Take a picture of it on your phone, something, so you always have it with you. So when you are in that moment of deep despair, wondering how you're going to get out, you can look back at that and it can be a reminder of, I didn't think I was going to get through that moment, but I did because a blessing came out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Once you start learning how to spot those blessings, those little miracles, that's when your whole world opens up to possibilities and you begin to gain clarity, get where you need to be. That's when you can discover your purpose, your calling.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, I think a lot of people are just convinced that life from a financial aspect, from every aspect, we just need to go through the motions and like try to, okay, well, I need, this great job or whatever to make sure that I'm successful in this way. I mean, success looks differently. And I was having this conversation with my husband last night. I told him, I said, you need to step back and you need to ask yourself, like, what is it that wakes you up? Like, what is it that, will help you achieve your purpose? Because for a lot of us, it's not just, going to a job and, we filled out, we did all the check boxes and we got the money in our account or whatever. I mean, the reason you feel so fulfilled and that you're struggling probably with gratitude beyond the overwhelm and beyond all the negativity and beyond all of that is because you're just truly not happy. You don't feel grateful because you're not in a place where you want to feel gratitude. Right. But it all starts with like you asking yourself questions, right? How do I get there? And yeah, sometimes it does mean sacrifice. It does mean that it's not exactly pretty and it's not exactly beautiful or whatever, right? On the financial piece and or otherwise. However, It's up to you to decide to embrace and live the life that you want to live on the terms that you want to live it, and to be grateful for the opportunities and the things that you were given. And it's hard.
Exactly.
It's not easy
Mm-mm.
necessarily to feel grateful. I mean, yesterday was just a really hard day. My toddler has been sick. She threw up on me more than a couple of times in a 48 to 72-hour window. I had meetings, but I still had to bring her with me to my office anyways. And I had her kind of like crawling all over me and whatever. And I'm still trying to run a business and do these things. But you know what? I was super grateful for the time that she's still in a position in her life where she wants to be around me, where I'm still a really key person that she enjoys, right? I mean, any of us who have ever been or have teenagers can attest that we reach the what my family friend likes to call the droid stage, where they want nothing to do with their family and it's door slamming, eye rolling bonanza, right? So I have to be grateful in those moments, and it's so easy to not be when, she's being a little bit of a brat and she's whining at me and she just wants my attention. Okay, but like, again, goes back to sometimes, and I'm going to challenge you, if you're having that day where nothing is going right, you woke up late, you didn't get to get dressed the way you wanted to, maybe you didn't get your shower in, your morning meditation, whatever it is that helps you get, the cup of coffee that gets you alive and going, whatever it was, and then you hit every red light on the way to work. Oh, OMG, right? You forgot your lunch in the fridge, and so now you have to figure that whole thing out. Like, figure out the thing that you're grateful for, whatever it is.
Yep.
You're grateful
So,
that you had a car. You're grateful that you have a job. You're grateful that you live in a country where you have food. I don't know,
mhm.
whatever it is, small or as big as you could find.
So I want to share that we are all meant to live a life of abundance.
100%.
But that abundance comes not just from material money. It comes from joy. It comes from peace. It comes from clarity. Some people get into corporate jobs for the money. They think that's going to make them happy. In the beginning, it does. But then they get burnt out. They get overwhelmed. They get stressed. I've been there.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But the fact that I have kept moving whenever I've gotten in those places, because I've been looking to seek where I needed to move to, the way has appeared, whether it was through a loss of a job that turned into a blessing in disguise. I learned how to shift my perspective to see it as a blessing, because I lost my job, but 30 days later, I ended up getting a job where I was more at peace. It's
Absolutely.
the strategies that I've developed are what help you to be able to shift that perspective. Helps to empower you to keep going. The dreams, the goals on your heart were placed there for a reason. You're supposed to seek those because you're the only one that can fulfill them. You are the only person that can make them happen. We're all different, as Jack said earlier. No two of us have the same purpose, the same calling. We're all a little bit different. We may be similar to some extent, but every single one of us are different. We all have different gifts. I'm here to offer to people out there who feel stuck. I want to help you gain clarity on your gifts. Because when you find those gifts and you fully step into those gifts, that's when you find that life of abundance, that life of joy, peace, fulfillment, freedom. And we were all created to live that life. But it takes stepping out of your comfort zone, becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable to make it happen. Courage. That's what grows your confidence. That's what has made me the person I am today, because I shouldn't be here. I mentioned that miracle power. It came to me last week that I am a living, breathing miracle. I shouldn't
Yeah,
be here.
for sure.
And I was told that my message is to speak to God's miracle power. He's still making miracles happen today, every day. The
Oh,
Bible
yeah,
is full of
absolutely.
miracles, healing. It's when you focus on you, on the inner person inside, you're ready to level up. That's when you ultimately heal. That's my mission. I provide hope, healing that opens pathways to empowerment. through God's
Well,
grace and mercy, I found the way.
and I was going
And
to say, and everybody has that ability, right?
yes,
Whether it's through something that you work on with Beth, you start small, whatever they can be, like you literally have the ability and the
yes,
power to tap into gratitude
yep,
yourself, right?
yep,
If you are at the corporate job that maybe isn't resonating with you, don't fret and be like, oh my gosh, I'm not living out my purpose or whatever. You can utilize it as a stepping stone to get to where you need to be or
yes,
whatever. There are things that sometimes you have to do that, again, they don't always necessarily look pretty, but sometimes they're just necessary to get to where you need to be. But sort of listen to yourself. Like the thing that honestly, it was so hard for me to learn was to just listen to myself because there were so many attitudes out there and there were so many opinions and I felt so overwhelmed and I was so stressed out because my family was telling me this way and maybe somebody online was telling me this way and another friend was saying I should do this thing and I was like whoa 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 whoa
yep,
like I can't even see which way is up and I had to literally step back and ask myself what resonated with me, where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to be. And it was a combination of my life experiences as well as my expertise, what I'm naturally good at, right? Sort of the paths that I had been led down
yep,
and seeing those as being grateful for maybe even some of the ugly of my path, right? And finding that way. And so for those of you who are listening who are like, man, I just don't even know where to start. You just literally start with asking yourself, like, what do I need, right? Where am I going? What's my intention, right? What would I like life to look like, right? And then believing that you can get there.
right,
It may not be, snap your fingers and you become a millionaire style, okay? Like what some people on the internet share with you, which by the way, if that's what they're sharing with you, they're full of crap.
it's bogus.
I can
Yeah,
pretty much promise you no one ever became a millionaire overnight. Or if they did, like for instance, lottery winners, the statistics is absolutely abysmal on those people actually staying with that wealth because they don't understand how to use it. They don't understand, you know what I mean? It was kind of like a windfall, if you will. So just understand, like you can get there, but you're going to have to
work.
buckle down, ask yourself hard questions, seek out resources about, gratitude, abundance. And, if you can't afford programs like Beth or some of the things that I offer course wise or whatever, that's okay. Start small, start with free and work your way up. You will get there.
As
Start
you begin,
prioritizing yourself.
yeah, I had to learn to protect myself. I found myself in a toxic place where I wasn't being supported. Luckily, at home I wasn't being supported, but I was being surrounded by outsiders, my network, my business network, that were uplifting me. That
Absolutely.
those people uplifting me when I was being broken down, I leveled out. I stayed strong. That was what helped me to be able to keep pushing forward. So, who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are your support?
Absolutely.
That's key. And like Jax was saying, being grateful for all of the mistakes. Nothing worth doing ever comes easy. I'm living proof of that. But it's the challenges that do make the victory so much sweeter once you finally break through.
But also, it's super important to understand that just because you have a big vision and big goal does not mean everything is going to come hard.
Exactly.
Everything may not necessarily go right, but don't convince yourself, well, if it doesn't come like super hard and whatever, that it's gonna, whatever. Because I've learned too, it's okay to ask for what you want, and you're not always gonna get a yes. But if you're not going to ask that, then you're not going to know, right? I was literally giving that example in a meeting that Beth and I were a part of before we did this recording, that as I was looking, to increase the viewership for the podcast, because I'm passionate about trying to get people to live life on their terms and see their path. And I feel like financials is a really big piece of this puzzle, which is why, and it's also my area of expertise. So it's why I did it this route. I was like, who would I want? Like, who are like my ideal people, my guests, right? That I'd like to come on to like sort of help and increase viewership. And I asked a couple of them and they said yes. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I was kind of surprised, I guess, but also really excited. And so, sometimes you just can't be afraid to ask. And yeah, maybe it is hard. Maybe it does take a really long time to get in with that person or whatever. Maybe that is the case. But sometimes if you just ask, the universe is going to provide, and there it is, right? Right in front of your face.
Exactly. And time is everything. Like when I was in high school, I wanted to know what that plan was for me right then and there. But you know what? It took me 23 and a half, 24 years for me to grow into the person that I needed to be so that I could fully fulfill that plan. I wasn't ready for it in high school, no matter how bad I wanted it, because
Oh,
I
for sure.
knew that that was going to get me where I needed to be. I want you to start thinking about the challenges and how they can be shifted and turned for the greater good.
Yeah.
That's what's happened with every single challenge that I've ever faced. The challenges that were meant to break me, every single one of them has turned out for the greater good. And those are the millions of little miracles that I've had in my life. And it's when you can learn to identify those by living with gratitude. That's what defines you. That's what's going to make you strong. That's going to be what turns your impossible into I'm possible, just as I've done it.
Right. And it's why your journey is always going to be shifting.
Yes. Yeah.
You're gonna live life with intention, and you're gonna be going for those goals, but they're gonna shift along the path, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You that high number that probably when you were in high school and you thought you may need or whatever will shift to look differently as your priorities shift, as your needs shift and whatever, and that's also okay. I think a lot of people need permission for that to be okay. It's okay for you not to have it all figured out. Just because you're living life with intention does not mean you have it figured out. I will be the very first person to say, again, I already said, I work in financials, and my financial house is a hot mess right now. Okay, so it doesn't always go according to plan. It doesn't always look pretty or whatever, and that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. And it's the learning to shift. That right there, that's what makes you who you are, makes you invincible. I've thought things like God spoke to me back in 2017 about something, and I didn't understand it. For 2 years, I asked him repeatedly to let me know, but it wasn't time for me to know then.
Right.
It wasn't until 6 years later that I found out the reason why he spoke to me. And even then, it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear until a year later as to exactly that my eyes were open to the whole reason why he spoke to me in 2017.
I joke all the time that I feel like in the last 40 some odd years of my life, I've been building this giant puzzle, and I've been doing like, you know how when you start doing a puzzle, you do like the border kind of first, right? And then you sort of like fill in the middle. And I'm like, I feel like I've been doing a puzzle blind. Like I had no idea what was in the middle of this puzzle, what it even looked like. So I just started with what I could, which was the outer edge, right? And I'm like building this puzzle out, and I'm like putting all the edge. And then as clarity comes, and as I continue to walk down the path, have gratitude, think things through, try to create goals for myself or whatever. Now, all of a sudden, some of the pieces in the middle are starting to get filled in. So again, don't be frustrated if your puzzle isn't perfect. If you don't have the box and you don't know exactly what the dang thing looks like yet.
And you feel like you're missing some pieces. Those pieces will come in perfect time. I love that scenario. Yeah, those pieces will show up right when you need them. And then you're going to think those are going to be the aha moments. Those are going to be the aha moments where
it's a piece that fell on the floor, Beth.
Yeah.
That your dog tried to eat. That
it was shoved under the couch. That was shoved under the couch that you missed for 3 years. I mean,
exactly.
That right there, it's when you can learn to embrace the journey and find joy in every moment. That's what we were all meant to do.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm here for. That's what brings me joy, is being able to see people who are uplifted and they're like, I never thought I could do this, and now I'm doing it. Those patients that had suffered a stroke, that I had one patient early on, the first year after I had graduated. He couldn't put his socks on because his left arm wasn't working, left hand wasn't working at all. His upper arm worked. You know, I gave him a sock aid and I showed him a technique. The next day, I came in to work with him, and his face lit up when I walked into his room. I want to show you what I can do. By golly, he put both of his socks on because he had worked all evening long after therapy had gone home for the day on figuring out how to get that sock on that socket and how to get it on his foot. That's what it takes. You have to have tenacity. You have to be persistent.
And whether you believe it or not, each and every one of us has that persistence in us.
Yes.
You may not believe it, but literally we were born with it, because the reason that we're here and not the people that got eaten by the bears or the dinosaurs or whatever the heck happened way back in the day, those people are gone. We literally come from stock that knew how to survive, that figured it out, right? So just in case you're wondering, oh, I don't have that tenacity, Beth. I mean, I don't know if, yeah, that's not true. So I won't hear that excuse, just so we're clear, right? That sounds like some negative Nelly kind of talking or whatever. But Beth, as we sort of wrap up this episode, tell us a little bit about where people can connect with you if they are interested in like some of your miracle type platform, etc. How they can connect so that we can make sure we get that taken care of as well.
Okay, well, I am currently working on a lot of things. A lot of things have been placed on my heart that I'm in the process of. ElizabethInspires.com. You can see my Pathway to Peace Method course. That lays the groundwork. It helps you with being able to build that firm foundation of gratitude. You can also look at my Miracle Power Empowerment Coaching. That's a 90-day program where you get me every week to help you gain that clarity so you can discover your purpose, your calling, and you can start working towards that confidence, that belief in yourself. My goal is to be able to make a world of unstoppable people just like me. I want to make this world a better place, and I can't do it alone. So I've got to help more people to become like me so we can join forces together, and that's how we can make this world a better place. So I want to invite you to join me. If you are interested in learning more about my Miracle Power Empowerment Coaching Program, then I would like to invite you to book a VIP Double Your Peace Discovery call. When you book this call after we meet, you will get my guide to double your peace and joy. That's the first step. If you want to do something for you, no cost, do that, and then you can begin to see what it looks like to step into that miracle power. I am also, as this podcast is being recorded, in the midst of creating a miracle tracker, because that was placed on my heart. That miracle tracker will be free on my website as a free resource so that you can have one of the tools to start to build that firm foundation so that I can help you to become unstoppable, turn your impossible into I'm possible.
Absolutely. Well, we love that. We'll make sure that all best information is in the show notes as well, guys. And don't ever forget that at fms.college, we have tons of free resources as well to help you succeed on the financial space. So go out there, get you some kickstart, have an attitude of gratitude. And hopefully this episode was helpful for you. And we will see you back on the next episode of Financial Mastery Simplified.